wrong. I'm a Knicks fan. Hang on 1 second, man. I love myself some Randall for what he did this year. But you can't tell me for playing for 3 good months, it's worth it.
You finally broke down and got one. You finally broke down. You got broke down. Not you. No.
Hey, man, when the fever gets you, what you gonna do, man? What you gonna do? When the fever gets you, get hot. You get hot.
You got a playoff shirt. I don't think you were waiting for the championship shirt or the division championship. No, you got playoff. Welcome to the First 40 Sports Show with the Goon Squad. It is I, Puma, along with Black Thor. We're going to skip hot topics and go right to the NBA playoffs. Black, you and I have talked offline about this, and the NBA playoffs this year has been must-see TV, I have to admit. Usually I'm kind of fading in and out, but each and every game, we've been I've been kind of really glued to the television all 4 quarters. Usually it's the third or fourth quarter I'm watching. We're going to give you our eye test, but what are some of the things real quick that's standing out to you?
Some of these players, man, that you don't get a chance to see throughout the year, like the Phoenix Suns, you don't get a chance to watch them throughout the year. Drayton, Booker, to really see how they're starting to mature, start to come along. Even though Dallas is not in there, to see, Luka where he's playing. And ironically, to see, this is going to sound kind of, I don't know, maybe trivial, but to see at some point the Clippers stand up. Just stand up and just kind of say, you know what, we're not going to take it no more. They did that in the earlier series. You started to see them do a little bit in this series and just kind of play, bro. It's been some drama. And the playoffs usually kind of makes its own drama from game to game. And it's been it. It's just been little pockets of drama that basically compel you, like you said earlier, to hang around for 4 quarters and watch it. The play, for the most part, has been superb, too. Most teams have been playing very well. And that's all. When I watch NBA basketball, that's all I want is good play, bro. I mean, sometimes you find yourself rooting for one team, favoring the other one, which is not your team. But at the end of the day, when I turn it on, just give me competitive play. That's all I can ask for. And these games have, for the most part, been very competitive. And that's it, bro. The NBA, I mean, I remember when they was trying to start the season when they did, I was like, it's too soon. But their plan has worked out. Even with the play-in, all that has worked out astonishingly well.
Yeah, I've been looking at series like Atlanta and Philly, and it's almost like Philly can't get rid of Atlanta for some strange reason. Now, they're winning tonight as we're recording the show, but Embiid missing that last, go-ahead shot to go ahead and win that game. He missing that. Then he was, questionable coming to this game. There have been a lot of guys. Kyrie Irving is out. You had James Harden, who came in trying to play and giving you 5 minutes. I told Ice on last week's show, just give it a minute, or a couple of weeks ago, just give it a minute. James Harden will disappear, and he's disappearing in the playoffs. KD had a monster game to lift Brooklyn over Milwaukee, and I thought Milwaukee really played a bad game. The bad strategy down the stretch. You got a team on the ropes, and you don't take them out. I mentioned to you in a text message that Milwaukee was playing KD right, roughing him up, bouncing him, and really kind of hacking him up. Somebody got to use 6 fouls in there and get that guy frustrated. You let him go for 49. I think he had 17 rebounds, 10 assists. Come on now. And I give him credit for doing that. But you look at the Denver-Philadelphia series, Phoenix series, Denver just didn't have enough for Phoenix. And I've been singing Devin Booker's praises for years. I'm glad he's getting his just due as far as people getting to see him, but he's getting really kind of bumped when it comes to, the all NBA team, first, second, and third team. I don't even think he made that. But the LA Clippers and Utah series, I'm surprised that the LA Clippers are still in this series based on how Utah was playing and is playing, even though they're down a player with Connolly. What do you think about these series that are going on now?
I'm going to start with Milwaukee, man, because I'm going to, you and I were just talking a while ago, and you don't want to see anybody lose their job, but I'm going to say this. If Milwaukee doesn't get past Brooklyn, that head coach got to go, bro.
Yes.
The mentality that he's feeding that team is just not right. I watched them, first half they played a game last night, and the game was offensive was superb. They came out in the second half. It was almost like they came out in the second half and said, let's see what we can do to give this game back. Let's just see what we can do to give it back. And Giannis, I'm going to say, you don't have to be a great free throw shooter, but at some point, bro, you got to realize that that's a game, part of your game you want to improve. But even beyond that, the mentality in the second half to start jacking up threes. Nobody's moving, going. Milwaukee, you have never been an isolation team. I don't understand why the coaches play having them quote isolation every time in the second half. And then Giannis, for the life of me, I'm just going to say this. If you and I are playing a game, and I look at you and I'm saying, defensively, you're inferior. And you came to guard me, bro, I'm going to take you, and I'm going to take you hard. How does Harden on Giannis tell everybody, no, don't give me the double team? And you fade away, my brother? You fade away. Bro, that is so disrespectful to you, Giannis. Two-time MVP player that Harden on a bad Achilles or whatever he has going on with him can say, no, I got him. And you're fading away at that crucial point in the game. And then they give you the ball to do a dunk, and I don't care if you win 20 MVPs. When you don't get it done, when the pressure's on in the playoffs, I cannot respect you. I just can't. But to me, it starts with that head coach, and it drizzles its way down, bro. Middleton is playing a heck of a series. I'm not going to take anything away from him. Some other players are showing up, but in key moments, they make bonehead decisions. I was watching TNT last night, and they said, right, they play stupid. They do some dumb things. They look, it's like they see things on the floor, and they don't read it correctly. That's coaching, bro. That's coaching. I don't know what he does in his timeouts, but I just don't understand. Philly and Atlanta, I'm happy that Atlanta giving them a run. I think Philly, if a B stays on the floor, it'll be too much for them, and they're going to take this series. But Philly's not going away quietly. I'm happy that Nate McMillan is basically taking this job, and if they don't give it to him in the year, I don't know who they're going to hire that's going to bring him better. Because
he got some more openings in coaching, so he got some places to go.
Because I understand you may want to wait until the series is over, whatever, but he's earned the right to be the coach of this franchise, without a doubt. And when he took this team during mid-season and grew up to this point, he deserves the right. LA Clippers and the Utah Jazz. Utah, to me, is a different team when they're not at home, bro. I don't know. When you take them away from being home and make them go on the road, those players that play well at home with that crowd just don't travel well. They, for whatever reason, mentality, they don't travel well. So they'll do well, when they're at home. Like I said earlier, the Clippers have stood up. I think Kawhi Leonard's gonna miss the next game. Basically, he's gonna miss the next game, which is kind of bad to hear. But they have found a way to kind of rally themselves. Tyronn Lue basically has found a way to do things that Doc couldn't do with this team. I still think they're missing a few players, but I think they might get past Utah simply because Utah basically, when they're not home, they're just not headstrong, and I don't think they're ready to take that next step. I like how Phoenix basically handled Denver. You're right, Denver didn't have enough, and the Joker kind of got frustrated towards the end. He's been carrying that team for the longest time, but they just didn't have enough. I will say this about Denver too, man. I don't like the head coach. When your team is out there doing all they can, you calling them soft, they quit, bro. They're under gun. Realistic. What do you expect? I did not like that at all. I thought that was bad mentality. I thought that was bad saying about your players. When they're giving you all they have and the best they can do, it wasn't like they quit. They came across a very strong team. Now, I'm going to give CP3 his credit for getting there. I think he's going to be out for a little while with the COVID. I saw Mark Jackson with a headline trying to rank him one of the best point guards. Bro, slow your roll. Slow your roll. I'm not a big fan of Chris Paul, but he ain't one of the top point. He'll never be one of the top point guards in the NBA, bro. I don't care who he brings to the conference finals.
Yeah.
So, you would never. Mark Jackson was one of the top point guards in the NBA. Right. Good point guard. And he has his moments, but I think a lot of times, and I was saying this earlier to you about LeBron, where these commentators get lost in the moment. And they'll take one package, one game, and they'll make it big like this, like it's a career, and turn him into a legend. Enjoy what he does, what he just did, appreciate it. But you can't be that disrespectful to elevate him to a level where he's not, just because you like him. And they have a way of doing that all the time with certain players, man. They'll elevate them And as I was saying to earlier, that's what happened to LeBron. People like him, so they elevate him here. But what about all the players that's been doing it for years? It's so funny. I was talking about the other night, and it's been getting a lot of traction. I'll say this and I'll move on. When Willis Reed came out, and we never probably even talked about this, but remember the game when Willis Reed came out of the locker room and he played? You know the player that was killing him and won the game for the Knicks? Walt Frazier.
Walt Frazier, right.
Walt Frazier. You know what I mean? So when do you hear his name pop up, bro? That's what I'm saying.
Basically, took him to and got the championship on his back. Yeah.
So until Chris Paul does something of that magnitude, shut up, Mark Jackson. Shut up.
Yeah, man. And check out our overtime after the show where we talk about LeBron's statement about all the players being injured and all that other stuff, and me and Black's take on that. Hey, man, there may be a coaching job for Mark Jackson. I mean, coaches are being dropped left and right at this particular point. Van Gundy got dropped. That was our suggestion earlier this year. He got dropped. So much talent. There was no reason why they shouldn't have been in the playoffs. You got Scotty Brooks from the Wizards. He's getting dropped. There are a lot of jobs out there. Yeah, a lot of jobs out there. I think Portland interviewed Becky Hammond. And I don't know. We talked about this last week. I want to get your take on there. D'Antoni. I don't know why teams are pulling. Portland said they needed more defense, and they go and interview D'Antoni. Why? He's not a defensive coach. But I know you made some, I know you texted me some coaching moves that people are looking at. I'm glad Becky Hammond's in the mix. Not sure she's going to get a job. I hope she gets a job. There are plenty of jobs out there with all the coaching vacancies in the NBA. They're looking at Calipari. They're looking at Sam Cassell. They're looking at Chauncey Billups. They're looking at even coaches that are even coaching in the playoffs or had coached in the playoffs. What's your take on the candidates?
Let me jump here real quick and say this. What's the name? Washington Wizards should never hire that cat in the first place. He didn't deserve to be head coach anymore. Same thing with Pelicans. Why would you bring these two retreads and ain't done nothing in their coaching careers and think you're going to basically get some more juice out of them?
Yeah.
So I don't think I'll commend the Pelicans for you were smart enough to realize you made a dumb move hiring him in the first place and bringing him in and got rid of him quickly. With that being said, one name, bro, getting dropped that surprisingly her name has been tossed around too is Dawn Stanley, bro.
Yes.
People are talking to Dawn. Just think about that for a second. Out of nowhere, they're talking. And she may not get it this time, but she's going to get it. I'm going to say this. I think Becky Hammond may end up in Boston. It's a possibility. I know Boston's talking about it a little bit. I'll be surprised she'll get one of these jobs. But with that being said, San Antonio need to tell Popovich it's time to come upstairs, bro. That's her team. That's it. She should not be out interviewing. And I love Pop. I respect him for everything he did, but Pop, you're being selfish at this point, bro. Your wife has passed. Your time has passed. You got to move on, bro. Move on, allow her to take over that franchise. It would be the best thing for San Antonio to have her right there. She knows the talent. She knows the area. She knows what you basically prepared her. Why are you going to allow her to go somewhere else? That's just being, and I know the owner don't want to be selfish. I mean, I know the owner don't want to basically strong arm him, but damn it, just like the Dallas Cowboys had to move Tom Landry.
Tom Landry, yeah.
You got to move Pop. He's not going to move on his own, bro. Get him out of the way. That's the team which he should be coaching. So if no one else ever hires her or hire with these 5 teams, I'm not going to blame them. I'm glad they're talking to her, and her time will definitely come. But there's no way Pop think he's going to bring another team back to the threshold, bro. And he's kidding himself. He's kidding that franchise. I understand what he did, but I'm going to leave it there because he's got to get the F out the way, bro. Pop's got to move. I do think that Sam Cassell may get a job. I think the cat that you spoke with the Clippers, I can't think of his name, but he did say his name.
Chauncey Billups?
Yes. I think Billups is ready. I think he had a chance before to go be a general manager. He turned it down because he wanted to be a head coach. I wish he would have took the general manager job instead of going for the head coach. I think it would have been a better general manager. Head coach sometimes a little tricky. I wish he would have took that, but I think those two are definitely going to pop up and come around. I'll be honest with you. I don't think nobody's talking to John Calipari. I think John Calipari put his name on. I'll be honest. He wasn't linked to a team, but that's John Calipari. He's going to say, well, no, I don't want to leave Kentucky. I guarantee you, when the jobs get filled, he'll come out with a statement, I don't want to leave Kentucky. I got to get, that's his, John Calipari and his agent putting it out there. They don't want John Calipari. And the NBA is not one and done, bro. It's not one and done. And let's be honest, man. Let's be real honest about John Calipari. Name me the player that he sent from one and done that he sent to the NBA that just astonishes you.
Devin Booker. I mean,
Well, outside of him,
you got
outside of
AD,
him,
you
Anthony
got
Davis,
Randall. Yeah, I mean, he
bro,
took a lot of players.
They've been hot and cold.
Yeah,
Randall,
he
love
took
Randall.
a lot of players to the NBA, bro. It should be interesting, man, and who lands where. But there are a lot of vacancies in the NBA in coaching. This is the most vacancies I've seen in a long time, which tells me teams they want to win. They're in. They want in. They want to win. I found something out today doing some research about the contracts that players have don't cover the playoffs. So what the NBA teams do is they put a pool of money together, and that's the money they get in the playoffs. So the more you win, the higher seed you are, the more money you get. That would be an incentive for me if I was an NBA player. I got to get in the playoffs. I got to get some of this money outside my contract. So I want to win. And so now you see why some of these players are moving to teams. Even Damian Lillard is kind of thinking in the back of his mind now. I read an article that maybe I should go somewhere else. And Portland has to be in a panic right now because that's their bread and butter right there. That's their guy. That's the franchise face right there. So they got to be panicking and they got to make the right move because he wants in.
I think he's going to go. But I'm going to say this, man. I spoke this to you earlier. Don't be surprised if Milwaukee doesn't get past this series, that head coach gets fired, bro.
Yeah, I said that a couple of weeks ago.
He's got to go.
He's done.
He's got to go. It's you can't come back and do the same thing again next year, bro. You just can't. He's a regular season coach. He was a regular season coach when he was with Atlanta. He does not coach well in the playoffs. And that was on display. Game 5 more so than anything else. He does not know how to coach in a playoff pressure situation. That's just not who he is. Nice guy. You know, you can have a beer with him, but he's not going to win you a playoff series. He's just not going to do it.
Riddle me this, Black Thor. How come the freak is not on KD defensively?
You know what? I don't know if that's the coach. I don't get it. Because, Grant Hill said that. He said, why not put some length on him? Clearly, don't get me wrong, homeboy might have gotten his head earlier. But when KD is looking over him by 6 or 7 inches and dropping threes, you got to put some. How about the backup center? Anybody? I don't understand it. Here goes this culture. You make no interchange adjustments during the game. You got to make adjustments during the game. See something. Oh, you know what? Okay, let me try this. He does none of that. And you're right. I primarily because I think the Greek Freak is not a great defensive player. I think the Greek Freak also doesn't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think he wants to be embarrassed, bro. A lot of these players walk around and they don't want to be embarrassed. They want to be posterized. I'm sorry. If you got, like Ice always says, DOG dog. If you got dog in you and we seen it with Butler and the other player is getting off, who going to go, I want him. I want him. It's just that simple. So if you ain't saying that to your coach, or forget it. Even when the play come down, you go out there and just go get him. Forget it. You just go get it.
Wave the other guy away. Take my money. I got him.
That says a lot about him as a player. And I'm going to say this, bro, as him as a player. I remember the first game that they were playing. His brother plays for that team. And what's the name basically kind of roughed his brother up. The cat that's was with Detroit, now with Brooklyn. And you mean to tell me you took no retaliation?
Mm-hmm.
He's punking your brother. You done nothing?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm sorry. At some point in the game, especially when the game you was blowing on, they came back home, get yourself a flagrant one. Go get yourself a flagrant one.
Wear it like a badge of honor. I got you.
Let's go get one. Even if you got a flagrant till the game is over, you come back next game. Go get one. I don't understand it. So when I saw them on game 3 getting in their face, I said to my son, that's what they need to be doing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's like, but Giannis, why they doing? He's over here on the sideline. Seriously, bro. You and I know when you playing against somebody that just don't have it in them, bro.
Yeah.
You and I know. And when you realize that, you take advantage of it. It's just the way the nature is of men.
Yeah. We're going to move on to Major League Baseball. And there's one story. I'm not going to go through. Ice is out for today. He'll be back next week. Safe travels to that brother. The suspensions for baseball pitchers. And this is the joke. I said this last week. This is kind of like baseball kind of, just saving face and just doing something just to be doing something. the suspension, Black. I don't know if you heard about this. If you violate the rules for doctoring the ball and all that, it's a 10 games suspension for pitchers with pay. Pitch anyway every day. So what's the penalty? What's the penalty? It's like a joke. It's like we doing something just to be doing something to figure out, who's cheating, who's doctoring the ball. And I'm like, y'all just wasting your time. Just leave the game alone. Just let them play. Your thoughts, man?
You know what? I'll be honest with you, man. You know I'm not a fan of baseball, and this was 1 year to me. Baseball has got lost in the sauce, bro. Realistically, it's got lost in the sauce with the NBA doing what it's doing, with the NFL basically throwing stuff out there every now and then, dropping stuff. You had a player. This is my opinion. You had a tennis player, a young tennis player, said, "I'm not playing." Has got more traction than baseball has gotten all season, bro. Let's be honest. That says a lot to me. People have basically winged themselves off of baseball other than going to the game and drinking beer and having a hot dog. And that's being honest. I know we do a report. I'm just going to give it to you like I give it to you. So with that being said, that gives you that right there. They're trying to keep that player around, but at the same time, you're trying to punish him. You're not doing it. And to me, cheating is cheating. How many times baseball get caught cheating? Seriously, you had the steroids. Now you got them doing this doctoring. Are you any integrity in that game at all? Nobody's watching anyway. I mean, let's be honest. Nobody's paying attention to baseball. Nobody. You got soccer was going on out of this country this past week. What got more traction in the United States this past week, bro? I ride by
the European
soccer flags out.
Championships in Copa, yeah. Those are some great games.
Let's be honest, man. I mean, it's gonna get to the point, and this may sound silly. It's gonna get to the point where the WNBA is gonna have more viewership than baseball, bro.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I'm gonna go out there and say it. I'm gonna go out there and say it because baseball's going like this. It's just constantly, and they do nothing. And when I said this a couple of weeks ago, they fight anything. The players fight anything that can improve their game. And the white establishment of baseball and players and old white men that sit around and love baseball, they want to be the same way it was when their father took them to the game and got cracker shacks. That's what they want. They're trying to keep the game. Everything else is changing. Everything else is changing. Baseball tries to stay the same. That's a joke. How you get suspended and get paid, bro? How you get suspended? I don't understand it. I would just mess with the ball, just like you said. They pitch once, twice a week anyway. What's the big deal?
Yeah. My thing is that there has been some great baseball this season, but it's going unnoticed. And you got some great players that are playing their butts off, but it's getting unnoticed because all the other things going around. Another player to keep your eye on, must-see TV, is playing tonight. Ronald Acuna Jr. from the Atlanta Braves. Really great young player, but they're not getting those viewers out there.
Well, bro, just correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't the Astros win the World Series a year or two ago by stealing?
Banging on the cans. Yep.
Red Sox a few years ago, you were drinking beer and eating pizza in the cup. I mean, come on, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's come on, man. I mean, realistically.
And I said this last week with Ice about the pitching. It's like everybody knows if you play baseball, the pitcher does something. It's it's handed down tradition to tradition to tradition. And so it's like a magician telling you how he did his trick. You just don't give that up. You don't give trade secrets of the game up. So there you go. So let's move on to the WNBA, man. Give me your report, man. Candace is back.
Bro, you know what? She's back. And I wonder sometimes, is Sky in such a deep hole that they're going to be able to pull themselves out of? She came back, they won, but they lost 7 straight games when she was out, bro. That's a lot of games when you think about in the league that doesn't play many games, but now she's back. It's good to see her back. I said this a few weeks ago, man. I think I love Candace Parker. I love her. I think Candace Parker just kind of basically realized she's done what she's done in this league. It's going to be a while for the Sky kind of basically make any traction to where they could probably win a championship. I'm pretty sure she wants one more, but it's like it might be time for Miss Candace Parker to kind of move on. That's hard to say, but she'll find herself on television wherever she go. I will be happy to view her. Interesting enough, man, I'm gonna throw a name out to you in a little bit that is a legend in WNBA. We haven't heard this name in a while, but recently the Mystics Tina Charles passed Lisa Leslie.
Wow.
Yeah, to move up to the second where we have earned more double doubles than Lisa Leslie. Think about that name for a second, bro. If you know anything about the players of the WNBA, Lisa Leslie.
And the Olympic Leslie, yeah.
Yes, she got it in, man. Lisa Leslie was like, quietly, she kind of retired, just kind of moved on with her life. I think the last time I saw her, she was talking to Gail King, and I think that's when Kobe passed.
Yeah.
And Gail was trying to rough her up a little bit. But last we seen of her. Here's another thing that was real interesting, man. Some things that's going on in WNBA, if you don't really zoom in, you be like, what's going on? This young lady was leading the race for MVP, helping her team dominate. Decided, you know what? I'm going over to play Euro basketball. I'm talking about Jaquel Jones. Mm-hmm. She just left the Connecticut Sun and said, you know what? I'm going to help out my homeland team win. I'll be back when I'm back. You just don't hear that ordinarily in regular sports where a player just says, you know what? I'm doing my thing, but I'm out of here.
Well, don't they make more money over there, right? Yeah. So I'm surprised a lot of I know people get homesick. There's the reason why they don't go over there for long periods of time. But man, I got to go where the money is, and then come back and spend my vacations here in my homeland. Yeah, give me the money. Yeah.
I'm not mad at her, man. No one seems like to be mad. And how can you, man? How can you? But so far, the Connecticut Sun's holding its own, but they're going to have to start to slip a little bit. But Seattle Storm, right now, it's Connecticut Sun and Seattle Storm are kind of bruising the team by their play. And Seattle Storm is out to win another one. I mean, their coach basically kind of retired a couple of weeks ago. They haven't missed a beat, bro. They kind of picked up and kept it going. I mean, the play has been good. There's some names that we're not used to kind of basically standing out. I gave some names earlier. And they're playing, bro. Quietly they're playing. I'll say what I said earlier. At some point, they might have more viewership in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. One thing on boxing, man, I saw the stare down between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. And we've been saying, I've been saying this for years about Wilder. And Tyson Fury just basically put it all out the line, transparent, and said, listen, Deontay Wilder is a one-trick pony. He's a one-trick pony. He has a knockout shot. That's pretty much it. He said, I'm going to get up to 300 pounds, and I'm going to make the fight shorter this time. When we fight. Black, my question is, did Deontay Wilder, is he biting off more than he can chew at this particular point in his career?
That fight was so long. I would have to say yes. Because, again, if you beat me, I want to get back in the ring and beat you real quick. I don't want to take a long time. I want to break. Give me 2 to 3 months. You know what I mean? And it's like, I want my chance at you again, bro. But when I know I can't handle you, I'm going to play games. I'm going to stall. I'm going to say things. And he can't handle this cat. Every now and then, a bully meets his match. That cat met his match. And you cannot bully and beat him. And basically, you're afraid of him. But you don't want me to know you're afraid of him, but you know you're afraid of him. Like Ralph Kennedy said, you know that I know, you know that I know you know.
There's my Ralphie boy right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because basically I saw a part of the press conference. Deontay Wilder just remained silent. So Tyson Fury said, I'm going to talk for him. This is what I see. This is what he's feeling. He said, I actually worried about him because to take a beating like that, it messes with your mentals. And that's why he ain't over there talking. And I'm like, wow. And he just broke him down, just broke him down. So that should be interesting. That should be interesting. So why are you mad, son? I know you had a week and a half to think about this. Why are you mad?
Man, I guess I could be mad. I'm gonna go get mad at Stephen A. Smith. I don't know. I don't think I should, but I think I'm gonna get mad at him because he came out the other day and said the player, I can't even think of his name right now, in Utah, is one of the top players.
Devin Mitchell.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell. He's one of the top players. And it was so funny doing a live broadcast. Doris Burke and Mark Jones basically showed him that he's an idiot. And my thing is that if we want to do something, anything in life we're going to do, don't do it to where you show you don't know what you're talking about. There was an old adage one time, never let them see you sweat. Never let them see that you're that stupid, Stephen A. Smith, because you prove it time and time again You have no understanding of what you're speaking of, what you're talking about. Now, we all have opinions, and some opinions you're entitled to have because we can't question it. But when you say the best at something of a team, there's so much other evidence to prove that you're wrong. It makes no sense. So maybe I'm not mad. Maybe I just understand that in the sense that you allow yourself to get to the point where you are, where maybe just stop paying attention. Maybe you don't care to pay attention to focus on what you're saying, and you just believe because who you are, you can just say it and that should be enough. But realistically, we should always realize when we have titles and we're doing something, there's something expected of us, and we should kind of live up to it. You want a good network that's taking real care of you and allow you to be there. You deserve to do better, much better than what you've been doing for the past 10 years, bro. And I'll leave it at that.
I think something that bothers me a little bit is I'm wondering if ESPN and Disney is in bed with LeBron, and that's probably a no-brainer. Because as soon as they get bounced out the playoffs, you see all these Space Jam movies, Space Jam 2. You got even ESPN personalities doing commercials of the new movie coming out. And LeBron James is chirping about the NBA playoffs and all this other stuff. But you kind of wonder, if this was kind of just set up. So as soon as you lose, or as soon as the movie is getting ready to come out, premieres and promos about Space Jam 2. Stop advertising. Y'all are in bed together, and it's looking real bad because it's almost like you can't survive without LeBron. You can't do it. And so he's getting older. He's on the way out. He's trying to hold on so little Bronny can play with him. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. Let it go. But it kind of bothers me that we're seeing all these Space Jam kind of promos on ESPN, just trying to keep LeBron's name and LeBron image out there. When I don't intend to watch the movie. I damn near didn't even watch I kind of made a mistake because my kids were little watching Space Jam the last time. But I'm not going to do it. But it just bothered me a little bit that we're getting inundated with all these Space Jam 2 kind of promos on LeBron, trying to keep his name on a sports channel that has nothing to do with kids' movies. Okay. All right. Your question, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of go kind of similar to that, but I was reading a story where Charles Barkley was on I think it was a podcast or something, and the TNT suits basically told him to shut his mouth.
What did he say this time?
Well, I guess overall they've been telling him he needs to pipe down and shut his mouth. He doesn't like it, and he's mad at them. So with that being said, your thoughts where them telling him to pipe down and him being mad, how do you feel about it?
Get him out of there! Get him out of there! He holds. Get him out of there! Get him out of there! You don't need him.
No.
You don't need him. You really don't need him. If they got to the point where they're saying to pipe down, they must be getting some bad kind of reports back saying, you know what, Charles is making you look bad, this, that, the other. He's bringing this down. The ratings are going down. But he really doesn't give you anything. My thing was, and we said this before, put Candace on there, put Kenny and Ernie. Get rid of Shaq and Charles. All they want to do is fight anyway, And most of the time when the game's on, bro, when it goes to halftime or they're doing a pre-show or after show, I turn away. I don't want to see the shenanigans. It does, people want to tweet in and, this, that, the other, making funny comments. I don't care. They're not bringing anything. The only person that really brings anything to help me understand the game a little bit more is Kenny Smith. That's it. And when Candace is on the show, I even will go and say, when Dwayne Wade is on the show, it's a better product. Because at least he's doing something. He's not kind of clowning a lot. He's doing something to give you an inside of the game. That's what your viewers really want. Tell me the inside of the game. Your thoughts?
I'm going to say this, man. I watched Shaq with Candace Parker, and Shaq is better when she's with he's better when Candace Parker's up there. He says some things. He's more relevant. He says some things that make sense. I think Shaq has gotten to the point where he's always trying to stay on Charles Barkley way, and he figured the only way he can really be with Barkley is kind of go back and forth and want to fight him in a sense, and it's just tired. I think TNT is tired of him. I really do. This is the first time I really believe I think TNT is tired, and that's the first thing they say to him, shut your mouth. talk more about sports, make it about sport. Don't talk about the fat woman in San Antonio. No one wants to hear that every year. No one wants to hear
politics.
Yes, they're just saying shut your mouth. Because if you ever notice Charles Barkley when he starts talking, and I'm not trying to make fun of him, but he starts talking and then he pauses. It's almost like we got what he says. You can see his head, his brain circling around like I said. And then he repeat what he just said because he's not a good thinker, bro. With the cameras and the lights on, Charles Barkley's not a good thinker. He can't basically pivot. And I think they have figured that out about them. And I think what you said is well on point. They do focus groups, bro, all the time, giving people opinions. And I think people are tired of him. And they're like, I don't think his QR is coming back as fine as it did maybe years ago when they were laughing. They're not laughing at him anymore, bro. They're not taking him serious. And they're tired of him. They're just tired. So he's talking he's going to retire when he gets 60, not too far. He may not make it that far, bro. Yeah. Next season, that show may look totally different. I agree with you. Kenny Smith brings it every single show. He makes you want to sit there and listen to what he's talking about. I love when he goes to the screen. Ernie, I can listen to Ernie all day, bro. All day. I just can't. But Charles, finally, he got what he deserved. They should have shut his mouth 5 years ago. And I said this even in college basketball. How do you put him up there in college basketball? How? I don't understand it. You really think we tune in to March Madness for Charles Barkley?
Or maybe the Capital One commercials with him and Spike Lee.
I'm tired of them, bro. I'm tired of seeing that squirrel Spike Lee. I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'll be honest, bro. Spike Lee to be the director, those commercials are corny as hell. They don't make any sense. I don't think they sell the product. I just don't, man. They're not good pitchmen. That what they was doing with Jim Nance, are you kidding me? That Bird commercial, did you like that one with Bird? Seriously. Come on, bro.
No.
Come on.
No, we're not their audience anymore. I want to give you a quick question. What do you think about college football going to the expansion plan of 12 teams?
It may not happen for 2 years. And when I look at what it's kind of saying, I will say this though: if it happens, Notre Dame is out. That's the best thing about it. If it does happen, Notre Dame is not in. They're at this point now. They're lost. I think some change is going to happen. I'm not sure if it's going to be 12. I think they might go to 6. I think 12 is just too wide open. And there's one thing I heard them when they were talking about. They got to talk to the bowls, bro. Until they can figure out the money that's going to be lost in these bowl games, and they can fight. That's what it all comes down to.
Yeah,
they can do a 24 game cover. They don't care about it. But these bowls are sponsored, bro. They're sponsored, and that's what they're afraid of losing. They can care less. That's why you see a 2-9 are playing a bowl game. They can care less about who's playing. It's the money. So to me, I think change is coming. I don't know 12, but I think 6 is going to be there in a couple of years. But they got to figure out how they're going to make up the revenue and make more revenue, because you're going to lose some of these bowl games. You're going to lose them in a sense.
So I know when we were younger and we were like in our teens and early 20s, we watched pretty much all the bowl games that were on TV. Until they start putting the 6-win games, 6-win teams in, 7-win teams in. How many of the bowl games you actually watch?
I don't, but I'll say this though. I personally, I don't. I've been stopped watching bowl games for a while. But here's what happens. We forget sometimes that even though these small schools have big followings of fans, man, people that graduate, alumni, and for them it's important. So I think sometimes the NCAA tries to get back to some of these schools in a sense that they try to, give them a chance to basically go to a bowl game. They can follow, their family members can come. And beyond that, it's good for some of these towns that they're in as far as tourism, to make money. So there's a lot of hands in this pot that's moving that we sometimes don't keep, in my mind, we don't keep track of, we don't understand. So that's why I say it's going to take a while, because to me, if you wanted 12 games, bro, you got enough time now to figure that out and have that ready for this season. But they want to take 2 years because there's a lot of moving parts here that they have to settle with. ESPN is one of them. ESPN is going to lose some games, that they can count on for getting advertisement for their TV contract. So there's a lot of moving parts. But I think a lot of times with the bowl games, it's not necessarily who's playing. It's based on some of these smaller schools, man. What else they got to look for? They're not going to make it into the top 12. They're not making it. They're not even making the top 20. But if they can know for a fact, look at that suit that homeboy got on.
You must be watching the halftime show.
You see what Donovan Mitchell was wearing?
Yeah.
Bro.
It's
I'm sorry.
I consultant.
Huh?
We need fashion consultants for some of these jobs.
Damn. You mean stop looking like Dwayne Wade, bro. You don't have to dress like Dwayne. I know he's part owner of that team, but don't let him
New edition. Candy girl.
Don't let him dress you. Don't let him dress you, Donovan. Don't let him dress you, baby.
Yeah, they're gonna put you in GQ real quick.
Woo.
Oh man. Here's my thing. I'm not watching a 6-win team or a 7-win team in a bowl. And if you're an advertiser and people aren't watching those games, then you ain't gonna put money on that in that bowl game for advertisement to put the bowl game on. So I think that they need to, kind of set the standard a little bit. Go to 9 games. If you won 9 games, you get to go to a bowl game. Not 6. Now you can't have a 6-6 record. I'm going to watch in the bowl game. That's a waste of my time. That is. And so as I matured a little bit and got older, there are certain games that you got Wyoming at 6-6 playing against UTEP at 7-5. I'm not going to watch that game. I have no interest in watching that game. So whoever's sponsoring it, they're going to lose out on money, because if you don't got the viewers that are going to attract them, you get the folks that went to those universities. That's it. That's it.
There's one more element, and I'm not saying they have it for this reason, but there's another element to these games, man, these bowl games that we may not speak of. It's the gambling aspect, bro. It's the gambling aspect, man. It's just, Las Vegas makes money. I don't care if you got 2 dogs playing each other. Okay, bro, they make money. So that's here again, there's a lot of moving parts. And it's so funny because I remember years ago, and I'm going to tie this to the NFL. NFL wanted nothing to do with gambling. They didn't want nothing to be close to gambling. They didn't want to be close to Vegas. Well, look what NFL is now. Look at all the gambling that goes on in NFL now that they basically welcome, bro. So I think it was there with NFL all along. They just didn't want to act like it was associated with it.
Mm-hmm.
College sports and gambling is not too far away, man. It's just a lot of hands get fed when these teams play in bowl games. A lot of people get fed, bro. We all like to eat.
Oh, yeah. Last second shot, man.
My last second shot's going to go to Ernie Johnson, man. I don't think we talk about this cat enough. I watch him year in and year out. Just a mere fact, he's sitting between Shaq and Charles is enough for me. But he brings it year after year in a dynamic way, bro. I mean, you can sit there and actually learn from this cat, the way he handles himself, the way he delivers, where he kind of just gives you it. And I know Marv Allen's retiring. Everybody's throwing Marv Allen a lot of flowers. I get that. Marv has done a superb job as being a commentator and announcer. But I'm not saying we undermine what Ernie does, but I think he's done it so long and so good. Maybe sometimes we just don't fully appreciate it. I salute and honor Ernie Johnson Jr. Good job, my brother.
Yeah. Okay. I just saw this story not too long ago about the sexual abuse happening at the University of Michigan. And you see the victims and they're all men. What the hell's going on?
Bro.
What the hell is going on? University in these college programs where you allow somebody to sit there and abuse young men and young women in different universities. And now most of these men are now middle-aged, still carrying this burden of being abused. And I can't believe it. I can't fathom it. I guess we were brought up a little bit different, where if another man touched me, I don't care how old they are or what an authority figure are, I'm coming up swinging. You're not going to do that to me. And these young athletes who feel like, okay, I got to go along with this, maybe in their mentality to play, I just don't get it, bro. I just don't get it. And maybe we'll talk about that in future shows, man. We're coming up on our 100th episode. I didn't realize that till last week.
Nice.
Got to do something special.
Yes.
Episode
Big Al.
40. So that's our show this week. Big Al, yeah, it might be Big Al moments from now on until we go on our hiatus for the summer. But we'll catch you next week. Check out our overtime. Like, subscribe, comment on our page. Peace. Man, this has been interesting. One of the things that made me laugh today was, I guess it did make me laugh about the injuries of the players that are in the NBA. But LeBron ain't been in the playoffs for about a week and a half. He time out. See, I told you I could see this coming, man. Injuries, reckoning, we can't just, spin around that. I'm like, man, you just old, bro. You just old. It ain't because of the lost season. You just old, man. Y'all didn't play the whole season last in the bubble. You didn't.
Injuries happen, man, and it's just, I mean, you're right. He's old. To me, I think I like the fact that he went on a rant. I guess it was on Twitter or whatever the case may be. But the NBA, and finally, surprisingly, in the past couple of days, ESPN has muted him. They're not going to him. He's not in the playoffs. Nobody cares about you anymore, bro. They don't. It's like, shut up. And what's really is he's jealous because realistically, these games are good, bro. Most of these games are seriously, other than the Denver series against Phoenix, for the most part, they've been very competitive. For the most part, they change from game to game. And no one, when I say no one is talking about him. Even about that silly ass movie he got coming out, no one's talking about it. They got the impression coming on. No one cares. And it's interesting because I was watching Shannon and Skip one day last week, I think it was. And I guess they did a survey on social media, and he's not the most liked person, bro.
Who, Shannon?
No, LeBron.
LeBron, yeah.
Yes, there was like they came back 50%, more than 50% of social media does not care for him. They didn't state why. So Shannon and Wilson was trying to, Shannon was saying he was jealous. And I'm not always with Skip where he goes, but Skip makes some very good points. And he made points that we have said throughout the years. LeBron beats his chest a lot. He wants to be the GOAT, but in big time situations, LeBron has come up short many times. Mm-hmm. Go back to the time when he went to Miami, when Dallas came down to kick his butt. Yes. You go back to the time when San Antonio ran around him like he was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he has just had some great moments. People have figured out that he avoid taking the shot at the end of the game. He avoid going to the free throw line when it's really crunch. People have figured him out over the years, and this stuff that Skip was saying, I totally agree. And he said this, and I was surprised he said it. And we've been saying this for the longest time. The media has given people LeBron overload, and they're sick of him. They're sick. And he's always, and I think he did himself a disservice. Nobody talks about it, but I think this is part of it, bro. Remember the year that they lost to Golden State and he came out with that cast on his hand?
Yeah.
Yes. And everybody saw through that, bro. So you come across as a clown when you're not doing well, and you want to basically have people believe you're the king, you're this GOAT. But you got to look at, when we're telling people you're better than Michael Jordan, you got to be able to show it. You just can't say it. You got to be able to show it, because what you don't realize, a lot of people grew up watching Michael Jordan. And that's what I think has happened to him. He's become a caricature. Now, he does, and even Skip said he does great things off the court. But when you look at him as a person, what he stands for, LeBron hasn't always lived up to it. And I agree. I've been saying that for years, bro. But ESPN wants to give it to you like he's the best thing that ever happened, blah, blah, blah. And speaking of ESPN, I want to say something real quick, man. I get out of here. I was watching a game the other night, man, and Doris Burke and Mark Jones, I think, was on it. And they were saying it was a Utah game. And they came out and they said Stephen A. Smith said that the cat that's playing now for Utah is the best Utah Jazz player.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it went through the list and showed him how idiotic. I just wonder sometimes, is ESPN listening to him? Are they really, I mean, are they really paying attention to stuff that come out of his mouth? It's just amazing to think that cat has been involved in sports as long as he has and say some of the dumbest, idiotic stuff that comes out of his mouth. And you look at it, you wonder when the mic and the lights go off, does he even pay attention to sports?
I think they enjoy him being a lightning rod for that. Because people jump on it when he does it. But I don't pay him any mind. And like, it's bad publicity, but it's no such thing as bad publicity when you have a person like that. And I think they like a person like that, so that people can argue with him and debate with him and all that other stuff. And it just fuels the fire. I recognize a long time ago, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And maybe they're using him for that reason. He's a loudmouth. And the more idiotic he could, the more idiotic he sounds, the higher his vocal tone goes. He gets louder and louder and louder. And I'm like, dude, I just can't tolerate it. I just can't.
I don't know. I'll say this. He and ESPN they lost a lot of credibility. Their viewership is down. I think when things happen for them, they decided they're going to attach themselves, hook themselves to him because he had the name to let other people go. But there are some good quality people go, man.
Really good.
Mike Smith, some people that really trusted, that was on it, that you believe, and you kept this clown, and it's ridiculous. Even now, when your own counterparts are basically telling you during a live television broadcast, you have no idea what you're talking about. We don't want to go back and forth with you, but you have no idea. Bro, I'm sorry. At the top of ESPN, you cannot like it. You cannot like it. You cannot love it. It's just, to me, I don't see how. That's just my take on it. But I thought that was utterly amazing.
Yeah, I see a lot of comments that he makes that doesn't make sense. And I just, like on social media, on trending and all that, I just pass right by it because I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to give it any more time. Like I said, I have not met a person. I mean, a lot of people. I have not met a person like that dude. I have not met one person like, yeah, you're all right. No, I've never met a person like that dude, man. And I talk to sports with just about everybody. They do not like that dude. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why ESPN keeps him on. I really don't. And, I'm not talking folks and trying to get him fired and stuff like that. But, if he leaves ESPN, who's going to pick him up, really?
He's done well for himself, though. I'll give him that. But it's just like, at some point, bro, here again, if you've been let's just say a craftsman all your life, your craftsman at some point should be good, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like, he talks like he just got hired yesterday. They got hired yesterday. No matter what the subject is, it's like he'll yell and scream. He reminds me of a guy I work with. If he think he could yell and I'll scream you, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense anymore.
Yes. That's not the nature of a communication or even a debate to be yelled. No, you want to make some points. You want to be structured. You want to say something that's relevant. When you say something that just makes no sense and then think you're correct.
Yeah.
I always remember this, man. I'll leave it with this. I remember when Bob Kraft got caught up, when he got caught up with him. I remember it was like a Thursday or Friday when they was, bringing charge of him. The man literally said on the show, he doesn't understand that if two consenting adults just decide to do something, what's the problem?
I remember that.
I was like,
you brought that up. I remember you brought that up.
Yes. I was like, bro, have you ever heard of human trafficking? You ever heard of prostitution as illegal? I mean, none of these things appeal to a college-educated man. I'm sorry if I went long on that, bro. But
because I talked to a couple of people who went to Winston State, and like, y'all should be embarrassed.
Yes.
Y'all really should be embarrassed that that's his alma mater. You should really be embarrassed, especially at the time where he said ain't no racism. Y'all should really be embarrassed. Ooh. Y'all should really be embarrassed. Him coming from a HBCU and him letting that pass his lips.
Wow. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. I remember that's when I was done with him. When he did that, I'm done. You went to a historically Black college university and you uttered there ain't no racism because you think you made it. I was done. I was done.
I haven't seen a lot of the Kwame stuff, but I saw the Kwame stuff speaking to him when he came back and dressed in the Afro section. That's classic right there.
I don't want no smoke. Yeah, what he said, look at him. Now
you all you need to now do is put a cigarette in your mouth.